Work, grind, fly.
Hey guys, I'm Leanne. And I'm vegan. Because I'm vegan, that makes me better than all of you. Duh. No, that's not the point. No, nobody is better than anybody else. That's just a fact. I am no better than you. You are no better than me. And I'm going to tell you in this video all the ways that I suck. So get ready. Here we go. And today's video is about how I am a horrible vegan. That's right. I am putting myself on blast because to be vegan means to be what? It means to recognize that animals are not here for our entertainment, for our food to experiment on, or for us to wear, correct? Okay, first things first, I'm gonna reach on over here. Man, this is hard admitting some of this stuff. And I'm gonna show you my warmest jacket. This jacket, my mother bought for me as a Christmas present probably close to a decade ago. This jacket is filled with down. It's filled with down feathers. And if you guys know anything about that process and how horrible and torturous it is for the animals whose feathers they pluck out in order to fill things like sleeping bags and pillows and blankets and jackets and all other types of stuff. It's disgusting. It's awful. It's awful, awful, awful. So the proposal is to use all synthetic materials. Like, for instance, I bought a sleeping bag about a month ago. It's awesome. It works just as well as real down feathers. It's super, super warm, and it's all synthetic man-made material. Amazing. So a lot of times when you speak with a vegan who used to obviously not be vegan, which is 99% of us, we have leftover articles of clothing and other household products and household materials, you know, like the stuff I just mentioned, blankets, pillows, etc., that maybe aren't vegan. I know, a couple of vegan guys who still have leather belts and leather shoes, and they're not going to go out and buy new ones. This jacket has already been made. The belts that vegans wear and the shoes and other materials that they have that were bought or gifted to them before they went vegan, those things have already been made and the animals have already suffered and died for those products to be produced. Now, certain vegans have different beliefs. Some believe that there should be a proper burial ceremony for those parts of that animal. So, like, that group of vegans would say, I should bury this because it contains parts of an animal that animal cannot get back, and the animal has since suffered and died for this to be made. Other vegans believe that you should conserve those materials and basically not promote further materialism and needless consumerism, which, breeds more pollution in the atmosphere, more water being used, more gas and other things being used to make more stuff, which is killing our planet, which kills animals, which kills us. So they believe, okay, if you have a pair of leather shoes, just keep wearing them and use them out because it's already done. So this is the first and one of the biggest reasons I can think of for why I suck at being vegan. Okay, moving on. The next thing that I would say is the biggest, most obvious contradiction to my veganism is Jeter. Here's the short answer for why I have a purebred black lab who is from a pet store. I know he's just a shadow back there. But yeah, short story. So I used to be married. My ex-husband, my husband at the time, really wanted to get a dog. I didn't want to get a dog. And towards the very end of our marriage, when things weren't working out so great and we were arguing about a lot of stuff, I got to a point where he and I were both kind of choosing our battles. This was a battle that he won. He wanted a dog, and he wanted a specific kind of dog. He wanted a black lab. He wanted a purebred. He did not want to get one from the shelter. And in his defense, he did come with me to the shelter, I think a couple times, at least once, maybe twice, I can't remember. And we looked at a bunch of dogs, and he didn't like any of the dogs in there. There were a lot of pit bulls. He didn't want a pit bull, or I don't think our complex allowed pit bulls. Something like that, and there just wasn't a lot of selection for what he wanted. And he went online one morning and found Jeter's little tiny face in an ad for a pet store, and he just was like, that's it, that's the exact dog I want, that's the dog I want. So we went, he fell in love, he paid a hefty price, because that's what you do at a pet store for a purebred dog, and that's it. So I know it's a huge walking contradiction, but I don't care. Call me crazy for having this purebred dog from a pet store, not a dog from a shelter. I promise you, if I had more space, if I had more than just this one bedroom apartment, I would get another dog, and trust me, that would be a rescue dog. But for right now, I can't do that, and I just have this little guy, and at the end of the day, he is a dog that needs a home. He's here in this world. So that's the story behind that. Jeter's the only thing I asked for, other than the savings I contributed to our savings account. He's the only thing I asked for in the divorce, and I am very, very thankful to my ex-husband for getting him, because now, of course, I love him to death. So Jeter, you are literally my number 2 reason. He's so sleepy. My number 2 reason for being a bad vegan. Reason number 3, why I am a terrible vegan. I get Botox. That's so not vegan. That's so bad. Botox is vegan and cruelty-free now. This is what my dermatologist tells me. However, didn't always used to be. Botox used to be tested on mice. 50% of the mice had to die, and 50% had to live in order for that to be the proper toxicity level of the Botox to work. Let's say reasons number 4, 5, 6 that I am a terrible vegan. I don't always check if my hair products are vegan. I don't check if my shampoo, my conditioner, my hair gel, my hairspray, my dry shampoo, I don't check to make sure that those things are A, cruelty-free, and B, vegan, meaning no animal products in them. And I am working on this, and I'm getting better at this, and I'm finally now rotating through. I don't know what, I don't have anyone to blame but myself, but I'll go through periods where I'll be very, very conscientious when I'm shopping for these items, and then I will, forget. But it's not about being perfect in an imperfect world. This is what I keep telling myself. It's about just trying your best, just doing your best, keeping what your true priorities are in the forefront of your brain at all times, so that when you're making decisions, even small ones, every time we pay for something, we vote with our dollar bills. So we vote for how those things come to be, how they're manufactured, how they're tested, how they're processed. So I choose and must remind myself over and over again that I am choosing and voting for cruelty-free vegan products. Okay, household things. So aside from my personal care, my soap, shampoo, conditioner, hairspray, hair gel, all that stuff. Household goods, I don't always check to make sure that those are vegan. Oh my gosh, the Windex, the Swiffer Jet, all of those things, gotta make sure that they're vegan. We have to. I'm speaking to myself right now, because, this is my video where I tear myself a new one so I can clean up shop. Oh, I remember another beauty or personal care thing. Gel nail polish. Holy smokes. I have the machine to do the gels on my toes, because it's really expensive to do them in the salon all the time. So I'll usually put gel on my toenails. I found out recently, someone told me that they're not vegan. I'm like, how is that possible? How are gels, why? Ugh. So I gotta look into that. I gotta find either vegan gel or stop using them altogether. I will refer back to the coat analogy where, if you already have something and you're using it, go through, use it up, and then next time you replace it with a vegan version, vegan and cruelty-free. So that might be my game plan for that. Another thing that I didn't know about, tampons. Tampons are kind of like Botox. I believe they are now vegan and cruelty-free because they no longer test them on animals, but back in the 80s and 90s, I think, they were doing some disgusting tests on rabbits and other smaller mammals. I don't even want to tell you guys, it's awful, but yeah, tampons are no bueno. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about that. Switching to food and beverage consumption. Hi, hello. Here's probably what I'm terrible at. Wine and hard liquor. I don't ever check if hard liquor is vegan. I just assumed it was, but now with my research on other products, I'm like, maybe it's not. I don't know, I gotta check. I'm sure it depends on the company. So I'll look into that. That's a reason why I've been a terrible vegan. I prefer red wine over white, and I'm not sure about white, but I know that there's a process where red wine is filtered through gelatin, and some companies deem that necessary in order to make the red wine that they make. So sometimes when I'm out at a restaurant or at a party, I don't check to see if the wine is vegan. So when I buy it at home, I make sure that I buy vegan red wine, but when I'm out, I don't always check, and I should. So that's another reason why I suck at being vegan. Here's another really, really big one. This one's important. I'm a nutrition specialist and a nutrition fit lifestyle coach for people. This is what I do for a living. When I'm coaching someone and they are not vegan, I do not push upon them the need to go vegan. I don't do that. I just give the dentist analogy, and I came up with this myself. Basically, if I were a dentist and I'm vegan, would my job be to fix people's teeth and clean people's teeth and make people have wonderful teeth and gums? Or would my job be to help people go vegan? Of course, my job as a dentist would be to help give people clean teeth. My job as a vegan dentist is not to help people go vegan. It's the same thing with being a nutrition coach. If somebody wants to go vegan and that's what they approach me with, absolutely I can help them with that. And I love to. And many clients have come to me saying, I want to go vegan. Awesome. But if a client comes to me and says, I love chicken, I love eating fish, I'll say, okay. And then at the times of day when they would eat those things, I would give them different options, and I say, you can have this on this day, but if you also want to try this, you can, or you can try that instead for this kind of macro breakdown, and obviously align all of those things to make it so that they can hit their goals safely and effectively. I know there are a lot of vegans out there who would advocate that this makes me a terrible vegan, and that's fine. I believe I am doing the best job that I can, and I am doing so while still keeping my personal belief system intact. And at the end of the day, who do you have to look in the mirror at? Whose head is lying down on that pillow at the end of the night? Who do you have to be okay with? You have to be okay with you. You have to be able to look in the mirror and see the person staring back at you and be proud of that person. You have to be able to put your head on the pillow every night with no regrets. And that's how I aim to live my life each day, and I believe I'm doing the very best that I know how to do. And of course, I grow and I learn and I get better and I fail and I make mistakes every single day, just like we all do. And that's exciting and it's good and it means more growth and it means helping more people. It means bringing more happiness in the world, and I am all for that. So cool. Let's keep it going. Let's talk about what happens when vegans travel. I have a car. The car, I think, has real leather seats. I don't know. I didn't think about it when I leased the car, and I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, oh, shoot. I didn't even ask. So that probably makes me a really terrible vegan, but it seems like the car has real leather seats, and it sucks if it does, and I don't like it at all. The other thing is, I'll fly in planes sometimes. I'm sitting on a plane seat that has leather cushioning. So does that make me a bad vegan? When I eat rice. The tractors that are, going over those rice fields and the different machinery that they use, they kill tons of field mice. They kill insects and other little tiny animals that otherwise would be alive, but they're not, because these machines are slicing and dicing them as they make the rice that I eat. And this is true for so many different manufacturing processes of vegan plant-based foods. For instance, what about watermelons and blueberries, and I don't remember the other fruits, but there are some fruits that I believe, this is what I saw on another YouTube video, I believe that those fruits, I know for sure watermelon, they need honeybees in order to make the fruit. And that's an integral part of the process. So are those honeybees being abused? Are they given a great lifestyle? That's another question. I don't eat honey, but I do eat watermelon. Does that make me a bad vegan? It's a gray area. I'm not sure. Here's another big one. Oh, this one was tough. I had spinal surgery 4.5 months ago now. It was in August, and I'm going to have another spinal surgery. With that come pain medications. Sometimes pain medications come in gelatin capsules. That's what the pharmacy gives you. There's nothing you can do about it. You can take the gelatin capsules apart, pour the powder contents of the capsule into water and drink it, and that way you're not actually eating the gelatin, but you're still purchasing the medicine. Your insurance company is paying for it under your name. You're probably paying a copay, so you're still supporting the sale of dead animal bones, which is what gelatin is made out of. So does that make me a bad vegan? It's debatable. When you're in a lot of pain, sometimes you'll do what you need to do. Oh, here's another one. Sometimes people say dumb stuff in front of me. Just dumb stuff that I know isn't true. Like, here's a really common thing. I could never go vegan. Or I could never live without cheese. Or I could never live without ice cream. Or I could never live without creamer in my coffee. Real creamer. These things are statements that every vegan has said. I'm telling you, every vegan that probably ever went vegan originally said they could never go vegan or they could never give up some non-vegan product. So sometimes people say this stuff and I just don't have the energy to respond. I know that a good, pure, all-out, 100,000% vegan person would speak up and say, well, actually, and they would debate that point. And I know amazing vegans that do. There's one in particular. His name is Jim. He's freaking awesome. He is so on point with his words. He has a gift. Every time someone speaks up in a very respectful and very conversational tone, he will discuss with that person why the statement the ignorant statement that the person made may not make sense, and that their beliefs actually don't coincide with the statement that they just made. This is what Jim does. Jim will literally take the person's original statement, kind of break it down, and put it back in front of the person and say, you know what, your beliefs actually don't measure up here. So anyway, I know awesome vegans who do that each and every time. Sometimes I'm tongue-tied. Sometimes I just don't think of it right away. Or kind of following a similar thread, I also think that I'm not the best vegan because I don't have a lot of vegan friends. I don't. I have a few, and I'm so grateful. You guys know who you are. Yeah, I don't have that many vegan friends. Most of my friends are not vegan. So, I don't know, does it make me a bad vegan or not a real vegan that I don't have this whole tribe of like plant-obsessed, like awesome vegan homies? I don't know. This one is super controversial and kind of almost embarrassing to talk about. I don't always screen, I tried, but it was really hard. I'm currently not dating anyone. I'm currently extremely single, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I don't want to focus on that area of my life right now because I want to do a lot of things professionally, and I want that to take up the majority of my energy and time. However, when I was dating, after I got divorced, I didn't vet the eligible men based upon their veganism or lack thereof. So what I mean by that is I was lucky enough to be able to date a couple of vegans, 2 vegans, and both were wonderful experiences because for obvious reasons it's very easy to choose a restaurant and to cook together, and that stuff it makes that part of life very simple, and eating is a big part of everyone's life. You have to do it every single day, so why not make it easy and not a battle? I will say I have not always been just attracted to vegans. I mean, there are not that many vegan men out there. I'm excited about the future, and I'm hoping that potentially there are more in the future. But my point is, I haven't always been super strict about everyone I date being vegan. I do make requests just because I think certain things are gross. Like, I don't want to kiss somebody after they've eaten any animal products. So, you know, could you drink some water, please? Could you brush your teeth and floss? And then I'll kiss you. So, stuff like that. Or I don't really, at one point in my life when I was vegan, early on, like when I was married, my ex-husband would eat like a big juicy steak in front of me and it didn't bother me. But maybe because I've been away from that for so long and that's not a regular part of what I am exposed to. Now when I see that in front of me, it does really sicken me. So I try not to watch, and I try to avoid situations. And generally, you know, the couple of people that I've dated that aren't vegan were really, really respectful, and they were sweethearts, and they didn't like start chomping down on a big steak in front of me. They just tried to kind of keep that to something they did on their own time. So, but yeah, I don't know. As a vegan, are you supposed to date other vegans? Are you supposed to like just not worry about that? Or are you supposed to only eat vegan meals together and just, you know, not having like a strict vetting process in place so that the men I date are all vegan and I make sure of that or whatever. So I think that makes me a sucky vegan also. Why do I make a video like this? It's not just to rip myself apart and be like, oh my god, I suck, and be a Debbie Downer and be negative and whatever. It's to show you that I just think that there's so much out there right now in the media, you know, social media, the internet, whatever, and even offline, people talking to each other. That's just, it's so black and white and all or nothing, and guilt trips left and right about veganism, or, you know, being halfway, or, oh, all you do is meatless Mondays, that won't make a difference. I think that's such a crock of crap. I just think it's such garbage that people put each other down for making a mistake when they're trying. People are trying. If you make one small change, you are so much more likely to stick with that change instead of doing a whole 360. So, not to go off on a tangent, but my point is, I want people to loosen up and be more kind to themselves and be more forgiving and more self-supportive, if that makes sense. More pats on the back you're giving yourself each day, and less negative self-talks in the mirror at night because you're running through the list of all the ways that you effed up your diet, or your veganism, or your vegetarianism, or your pescatarianism, or your flexitarianism, or your paleoism, or whatever you're trying to do. I just want people to be more forgiving of themselves and realize that you can't, again, I'll say it again, I always say this, you can't be perfect in an imperfect world. You just can try your best. So that's why I'm making this, to say, look, I can make fun of myself and I can admit when I've effed up, and I just turn around and I just keep trying. And I don't get upset about it. Not anymore. I used to. But I just want to be transparent and just show you guys that this is what it's all about. It's just doing your best, paying attention, being a very, very conscious consumer, a very compassionate consumer, being compassionate for all animals, and just doing what you can do. You're going to mess up. You're going to crave things. You're going to shut down and just say, I want X and X comfort food or shampoo that I love using, or whatever the case is. It happens. It's happened to me, and, you know, it may happen again, but you just try your best. So there you have it. There's some reasons why I am not the best vegan, and I hope that you like this video. I hope that you got some laughs out of it. I hope it helped you breathe easier and relax and be like, it's okay if I F up, because there's always tomorrow and I can just get better and better, and that's what this is all about. And we are all in this one life together, and we're all here to make a difference and to share the special gift that each of us have, and to be compassionate and have empathy towards other living creatures in the meantime. So anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any comments at all, negative, positive, I don't care. If you want to tell me, yeah, Leanne, you're right, you suck as a vegan, or if you want to say to me, Leanne, this is your dilemma in this one category that you covered, but there's such a simple solution for it. Here's what it is. Oh my gosh, if you do that, I would be so grateful. I would love to hear any tips, tricks, advice you have on how to be the best vegan that I can be. So thank you so much for watching. Mwah! I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Nice of you to join us. Hello! Nice of you to join us, Dieter. I know. I am so boring. You can't even wake up. Stretches. Jeez. So boring. He's like, Mom, when are you going to shut up? I have to nap. Say what's up. Say what's up, world. Say what's up, world.
Work, grind, fly.